Good morning, everyone, wherever you are. Welcome to another live stream podcast of toys, collecting, and unboxing. Now, I'm hoping our guest will join us soon, but sometimes we run into these problems of the Northern Hemisphere living in the past and us here 12 hours in the future, sometime, and a day, in the, you know, a day earlier. So sometimes we run into trying to work that out. But hopefully he'll be here, and we're quite excited to be chatting with him because, like, he's just one of the new stores that's set up there in Texas. As a former comic store owner, I kind of kind of feel a bit more affirmity. What it's called, like, is it affirmity? Well, casual camaraderie to. Well, not even casual, but camaraderie to to new store owners, especially comic book stores. As we know, it's tough out there for comic stores, and we've noticed through COVID, quite a few had closed down due to the lack of product coming from Diamond, also the lack of commitment from people like DC and Marvel Comics, with like they had the whole pencils down, while everybody was working, right? Everybody else was working from home. They decided that they weren't going to be working because somehow they weren't going to get paid or something. I don't know the politics of it. All I know is that people are out there wanting comics, stores were there to sell comics, and certain things were going on where you couldn't open a store, but you could open, a big store. As I say, you can open a huge store, but you can't open a little store. So little stores got tossed by the wayside. Even here in New Zealand, I've noticed that. So thank you for joining us. Welcome to the show. Please like, subscribe if you like our videos, if you like our live stream, if you like our podcast, if you like us having discussions with up-and-coming creators, both comic books and established creators, artists, people who've been doing it for decades. We're here to try to connect with them and also connect you with them and see if there is something they have and they're writing and creating that you will enjoy. So check out our podcast on here on Plungecast on YouTube. Please like and subscribe because, it beats the algorithm, as I say. I try not to do that too much, but, if you don't ask, you never know and you never get, right? So please like and subscribe, and we'll get on from there. So this week's been a really cool, fun time for me because, like, not only was I able to pick up toys locally from, like, thrift shops and stuff, but I was also able to get a whole bunch of bulk toys in auctions, stuff like this, like stuff I wouldn't have bought myself, right? Because from a store. So what I did, I was able to like see a an auction for it, and I was like looking at it. There's things in there I want because normally I'm not a fan of, like, as such, of Iron Man, especially toys. So I'm not out there to go out of my way to buy Iron Man toys, right? So I'm there to I'm into Batman. So if it's got a Batman in it, I'll have a look and see what other items are in there. So to do that interest my peak after I see the Batman, right? So I got to pick up stuff like this as part of it. This it's a Mac one. No, it's not Mac one, is it? It's a War Machine. So not only that, I also got to pick up this here. So we got two Iron Mans. This one here is pretty cool. I didn't realize what was going on. So you've got this little thing that opens up, right? And it pops out like that. And I guess it's supposed to have a seat, maybe somehow, if you want, of this guy up here, right? Or maybe not, or has something else in there. So there's this little figure that comes in this Hulkbuster. And the other thing is, it does turn, and it does have a flying bit there, as you can see, right? Isn't that cool? So this is all plastic, no PVC, not PVC, no vinyl here, I should say. And let me just pop this out, and we'll get out of that screen, and we'll get into the full screen so you can see this there. So I haven't seen one of these, so I think it's probably It's made by Hasbro. It's probably one of their more child children's toys line, because you know the older guys are into stuff like this, right? Like actual, full on like comic book and figures that are like comic book related or movie related. Whereas this one's kind of looks more like rounded, kind of like a chibi, as we like to say, a cartoony version of it. But it's so you got your hands that move, and it's got big, huge fists, which is really cool. And then you've got your waist that goes around. You have the wings that pop up and down. It seems like it feels like it's spring loaded, so it's like it's joined or something like that. So it goes up and down, and you can almost see the movement through here. And when you can see, if you have the light behind, you can see the movement behind it, or through it, I should say, how it moves. So it's pretty cool. So it's not heavily detailed, but for this kind of toy, it's pretty cool. But like I said, it's got this little Iron Man in it, right? So it's pretty cool. I think it's got a little Tony inside the little, inside it. It would be really cool if it opened up again. There was a little tiny Tony in there. But of course, not possible with like a solid piece like that. So that was pretty cool. So I wasn't sure what this was supposed to do. Maybe it's supposed to have a gun, but thing with these is like when you buy things at auction, they don't always come complete with thing, but they also tell you that it's not completed, right? So sometimes they don't, but a lot of times, they just say, see what's in the picture, and you're probably just supposed to guess what's in the picture. But if you have something like that that's closed, for me, I don't mind, because like this was a really cool pickup. This was a really, for the amount of stuff I picked up with this was amazing, right? I'm like, look, I got a Spider-Man out of it. Not only that, I got a 12-inch Spider-Man out of it as well. And not only that, right? Wait, there's more. I've got this Spider-Man out of it, right? Which is a totally different figure. This is the vinyl figure, so it's with a bend, and it's pretty cool. So is this what? Like, is this the Miles Morales figure, right? And then you get this Spider-Man figure, and I think there was one other one. So there's this one here as well, right? So we got this big figure, 12 inches as well. And the cool thing about this, the hands move around, like the fingers, I should say. And then on the other one, it doesn't. So it goes side, right? It rotates around and around, and a bit up and down, and so on and outwards. But like I said, there's a piece missing there. And I think this is one of those voice changing ones. So I think it is, might be wrong, but so it's got a back piece missing, probably a spider thing or backpack. And then you've got the hand thing missing where the spiders, I think, because he's doing the motion. So of course, not the spiders, but the cobwebs are coming up. So I also ended up with like a double, because I bought locally, right, on Monday, and then I had this arrive about, it might have been Tuesday. I think if you guys saw it, it arrived on live stream, but I didn't open up till later with comics. I think it was Sazzy from comics on our Plungecast live stream. So you can check that out here on YouTube, so you don't miss out. So yeah, Korea right in the middle of it, and so we were doing I just put aside, but afterwards we were talking about it off air, right? And so I think I picked up one of these as part of a 4-pack, and then I ended up doubling up with this. And same thing happened with the Iron Man. So this is what tells me what is popular, right, and what you don't want to mess with when it comes to your products. If you are a comic book producer, or a owner of an IP, or a person who makes movies, you don't want to mess with Iron Man. You don't want to mess with Batman. You definitely don't want to mess with Captain America. Oh, and you do not want to mess with Spider-Man. Those are your 4 keys, and this, of course, would have come from sounds like a young boy's home, right? You know, child's, rather than a female's home, unless the parents decide to, we'll put this one together now in this pack, and then we'll put the girls' ones together in the other pack. But this is what I see, right? So you don't want to mess with these figures, right? These main four characters, because they're most popular right now, and you don't want to ruin them. If you are if you're a merchandiser, a manufacturer of these IPs, right? You do not, or owner, you do not want to do anything that will degrade them or devalue them in the eyes of you know, of a child. Because a lot of these, like, look, these are mainly bought by younger children, by parents for younger children. These are they're like about $20 things. Whereas if you go to this one here, right, this is like about 35, 40 even, right? This is 12-inch with like all the movements. It's vinyl as well, right? So this Joker, right? You kind of like, if you got a parent, if you got a child who goes, okay, I've got this one, mom, but I can't find the same one for this. They might, or dad, they might buy you the vinyl figure, right? And same with like, moving up to like, say, a McFarlane figure. So, at the end of the day, you got figures that are just plastic, $20-odd ones in New Zealand, probably about 15, 12, I don't know, in US, which is just solid, on a stand, and you're there, and probably, head moves, arms move, and that's all there is. Same thing with with this Mandalorian figure, right? It's got a bit of vinyl in it, but like these are a bit more expensive, of course, right? Because it is what it is with Star Wars, right? So, like I said, you do not want to ruin your IP by bringing ideology or politics into it, because kids just like to play with the toys. And if you put anything in there that they don't like, they'll turn off. I've noticed that. I've noticed that a lot, actually. Well, personally, I've noticed that, I should say, but I've also noticed that amongst the older group as well, right? If you're out there sort of pushing some weird thing onto children, parents would go, "Yeah, I don't think I'm happy with that. That's not what we believe in our family. It's not like something racist or anything. It's just like it doesn't feel right to be teaching that to kids. Like we're supposed to have heroes for kids, and if they're like doing villainous things or being portrayed as being villains, well, that's not going to work. And I think, or even like, we know Joker is a villain, and if we start turning him into a good guy, you're confusing the children, and the parents are going, yeah, well, no, that's not what we want our kids to, be about. So along with that, like there was about 17 pieces I was able to pick up. Like, look at this, I've got Falcon. So I'm quite excited because now I can pair up Falcon, right, with Captain America. Falcon, Captain America. And the cool thing here is you get the wings, right? This is so cool because you actually get the wings here, and it just looks great, doesn't it? It's like this is a great character, and even in the movies, as Falcon, he was brilliant. So I don't know why they want to mess with him and turn him to Captain America, right? I think there was a time in the comics he did. I'm not a big Captain America fan or a Falcon fan, but I did enjoy the movies, and I think, and so did a lot of kids. And because of that, right, parents were able to get those toys for their kids. So yeah, so check out, like I said, really think about what you're doing to the retailers by actually messing with the ethos or the ethos and the morals of the character you've built up for 80 years, and now you want to change it. Now, the other thing, like I said, there was quite a few Spideys, right? Now, and also, right, the other one was Spider. I got two of these. So a huge, was it 6-inch, a 6-inch and a 12-inch of Hulk. My whole collection is going big. Like, if you remember, actually, probably didn't because I didn't show them yet, but I will in time. I bought a pack a while back, a few months back, about May, to celebrate my birthday, which had a whole lot more in there as well. A whole box arrived. So same thing here, like Spider, Hulk, is a kind of like a middle sort of like good bad character, right? Batman is a good character, and Hulk just likes to smash, right? But over time we've learned that he's got a bit of morals. He doesn't just smash for the sake of smashing, but he is, they humanize him a bit. And I used to be a huge fan of the TV series, The Incredible Hulk, right? As a kid, right, here in New Zealand, in the 80s, it was rerun. I'm not sure if it was like started in the 70s in America, right, when it first came out, along with Bionic Woman, along with Wonder Woman. But here in New Zealand, it started. It was on replay, or maybe it was the first time. I was sitting down, and we had like I was watching that, and my sister was watching the Wonder Woman. And so one Christmas, I'm not sure if it was Christmas or birthday presents, but my dad got us a huge, like seriously huge, um, coloring book, right? And it was just giant, like they call it giant coloring books. And it was like, as a kid, it was almost my size, right? Oh, sorry, it was my sister's size because she was like around about 4 foot by that time, maybe 3 foot tall. So about 3 foot tall, you know. These really cool 3 foot tall coloring books, it was, like newspaper type things, that sort of newsprint. And, it was so much fun. I don't remember if I ever finished it. I don't know what even went, if I ever, what happened to it. All I know is that we had a bit of fun when we were kids with that. And the other thing I want to mention is this week, I was able to pick up some, um, it was last week, but it arrived this week. I was able to pick up these Hot Wheels with kit from Knight Rider, right? And they're three different types. So I guess there's the modern version, there's the movie version, I guess, if there was one. And then there's also, oh, that's Batman. Thank you. Yeah, that's classic, right? So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Hot Wheels or anything like that since I was a kid, right? The only one that I really remember is when you hit these ones where you smash them into each other and it switched around, and you saw the damage part on the hood, like on this part here, you'd see like the damage part pop out. So it was like, yeah, I don't know what they were used to be called, but that's one I remember having. And and the weird thing is, even then, I used to like change things around. So I actually scraped all the paint off it. I think it was a silver or black um, painted uh, toy, right? Car. Not even sure if it was Hot Wheels even. So yeah, but I scraped all the toys, to make it look like a bit more damaged. I don't know what my 7, 8 year old mind was thinking at that point, but all I know is that I had a lot of fun with them. Like smashing into each other and smashing with my friends, smashing into my friends' cars and into walls and under footpaths and stuff like that. So my ever growing Batman collection, right? It just keeps growing and growing. So I just like I said, even I as an adult do not want to see that morals and ethics and ethos, the characteristics of Batman change. That happened in the comics. I moved away with from the comics, right? I did enjoy the Ben Affleck um, older Bruce Wayne Batman. I really enjoyed that. I actually enjoyed the Robert Pattinson one. I thought I wouldn't, but because it's an Elseworlds kind of setting, they've said, which makes sense, right? Because it allows for a lot more storytelling, but also allows more people to have fun. And I haven't minded that. Over the years, I have, as a comic fan, I've come to realize that sometimes it's great to let to enjoy some other people writing it, as long as, like Frank Miller said, that Bruce is the smartest man in the room, right? Bruce has to be the smartest man in the room. The moment Bruce walks in, everybody isn't on the same intellectual level. He's scoping out everything. His mind's there. What happens if criminals jump in here because we're in this situation? Do I have an exit plan? Who I got to make sure I protect? Who needs to be looked after here and make sure they're not harmed? If villains comes in, what can be damaged without without getting in the way of hurting people, or something like if he pushed a chair, what if that chair was in the wrong angle and it ended up hurting someone. See, that's sort of the thing. That's what you got to think about when you're writing. You know, if I'm, when you're writing Batman, you got to think like, hey, how smart is this guy going to has to be? And he has to be really smart. He's a detective, right? He's smarter than the most cops out there. He's done years of training under the greatest masters, right? Um, as such, and then he's got the greatest of tools. So there's this huge opportunity to keep making more movies with Batman, right? But also to make sure that you do diligence and actually respect the character. And like, one of the things like I just want to put up here that for me as a comic book writer is that I have to do this. I have to do the same thing with my own characters. I got to look at, you know, I got to look at Incredible, and I got to go, well, what is it about this character that's going to stick in people's head? So my thing was, I'm here to help, right? And that's the one thing I want people to stick in people's head is for this character, that she's here to help. She's not here to do anything, push her own thing. Not here to like tell everybody how great she is, uh, tell everybody how she's better than the police lady over there because she's helping here, or that she's better than any of the guys, or that she's just here to help. You need her, and you just ask her, and she'll be there. And of course, the great thing about this character is that I get to work with, creating my own little figures, right? Coming, designing figures and letting act, 3D artists actually come up with the figures for it. So one of the things that is part of the comic book, right? We're doing is actually going to be trying if we get there, but I think we might not because it is a lot. It's 8K US. If we get there on a stretch goal, we'll be putting out one of these fully colored and everything in a box pack. Kind of kind of like in a like in see it here somewhere. Oh, can't twist too much. It's injured my shoulder this week. Um, and so yeah, in one of those Funko Pop type little bubbles boxes that come out there with the windows. So yeah, that's the joy of being able to create something, and you don't want to, you don't want to, you don't want to put one thing in people's heads and then change it along the way, and like maybe turn into a villain. I'm like, that's not something you want to do because you are trying to give some, kids are all about heroes when they're young. Doesn't matter if they're girls or boys, they're about heroes. Barbie doll will come and save the day. They're a bit more about, of course, there is a situation where girls are more about relationships. They're about, they have this, it was Lego who, I think it was Lego who put her out, this whole thing about, the difference between boys and girls and what they like to do with toys and what the girls like to do. Boys like to tell stories, smashing, they don't mind damaging their figures. Whereas young girls were like, yeah, comb their hair, dress them up, and not damage them. But guys will be out there, messing up. Yep, let's fight. All right, let's put Captain America against Hulk. All right, bashing them up. So yeah, so I want to let you guys know that this is such a joy to be at the stage of my life where I can just be able to you know be able to be access to toys that as a kid I couldn't afford, or that I just wasn't that much interested in. Like Masters of the Universe was not even interested in that. But now if it comes up, I might add it to my thing, but like I said, Knight Rider and Hulk, right? Well, no, that was Batman. So Knight Rider and Hulk, yep, we're there. As a kid, I was right in there. 18, yep. Star Wars, not so much Star Wars. I don't think I watched the movies, but I didn't have the toys for it. But I did, but Star Trek. I was into Star Trek, but I wasn't, like I said, didn't have much access to toys back then. But now, I'm able to get the toys that I need. So, you've got here, you got Dwayne, Damian Wayne, Damian Wayne, Robin. That was part of this pack as well, after 15. So, yeah. And I was quite surprised at the amount of Spider-Mans that came out as part of this pack. You know, like you had the black suit, you had the white suit, I mean the blue and red suit, and we also had, the Miles Morales one. And let me see, just one thing else I want to pick out. So I found this as well this week on just my searches, right? And I can't remember. This is a 2014 McDonald's toy. I was quite surprised to see it because I think it kind of feels like it's supposed to have some sort of light, like you know, it's got this weird thing going on here where I think it's like some battle going on inside, and you can like change it or something. Not really sure, but it's got a hold of the back, so I'm not sure. But I like the figure. I know this figure. I can't remember what it's off, and you guys would probably go, "You should know that," but no, I don't, sadly. But yeah, so the other thing was I was going to talk about was that well, that's the thing about having secondhand toys, that they can fall and you wouldn't have to care much about it, especially if they come out really cheap. So this is a UKUA, gosh, is it zero? So this one here, I saw this and I thought, you know what? This could be the Joker. And then my friend who was with me goes, "You meant Penguin, right?" I go, "Oh yeah, yeah. I could put this as part of a Penguin diorama, right?" And we put it next to wherever Batman just disappeared to, right? With a Batman figure. And oh, there he is, right in front of me. And it'll be like, oh yeah, there's a penguin and there's a Batman thing, right? And so, you know, and it's like one of those, those ones that like duckies that pop, waddle towards you and then they blow up. So yeah, so that was pretty cool. I thought, that's a thing about being able to find toys that have absolutely nothing to do with this, with the Batman thing. I mean, line or whatever from DC, but somebody else has made it, and we're able to use it. So this is UA. It's made in gosh, Kowloon, Hong Kong, and it's UKCA. It kind of seems like a brand. It comes with a, it's got batteries, so it's obviously going to be like, put the batteries in, turn it on, got a little switch at the back, and it will basically, waddle along. But yeah, so that's been pretty cool. I think, being able to pick up things that just are around and you're able to make up little dioramas and stuff. One of the other ones I was picked up was this thing. It was just in a little plastic bag full of stuff, this Transformers thing. So this one, I'm not sure, it's supposed to be like some sort of like a, punch motion or something. And and the legs move, right? The legs move, and it actually can twist around to the side like that. And I'm not sure how it's supposed to switch on. There is like little bits and pieces to it, but but for 50 cents, you part of a pack for $2, it was quite cool. I thought that was interesting. So yep, it had also this weird thing from McDonald's as well. So I'm not sure what this is part of, but I thought it was pretty cool. This light lights up. So if you press on the back here, there's a light that lights up. And he's holding up a lamp, I guess. I actually thought it was a sugar shaker. I mean, salt shaker, which it is. But I get the mouse has made it into a lamp. Just see it. All right. So I'm going to finish off here with keeping it short because we've got a live stream soon with the creators, with my creative team from Incredible comic book, right? Which you can see here in front of you on Kickstarter. So if you're someone who buys comics or stuff off Kickstarter and likes to back creators like myself, just put coming up with their own projects and not part of anything huge as such, but just coming up with, with this one, bunch of friends. I put together a studio and bunch of down here in New Zealand called Plunge Studios. And so I was able to, get some guys from, my friends over at Rising Sun Comics, publishers, and have them basically help them, put me together with some artists and colorists, and we're here putting up a comic book, right? Following Critical. And this is number one, drawing of the 5. This is my friend, my local friend here in New Zealand, from where we're based, Art of Evans, a variant cover that we're going to put out. He also did a wraparound cover, a spoiler cover, which we've blacked out the back of, so you don't know who's there, but it's a surprise, and it will be in the comic once you get it, that version, anyway, that variant cover. So the other thing, just finishing up here, I was able to, if you remember, I mentioned last time that I was, that I was waiting for this figure here, this little piece here, the torso from the Joker bot, and I didn't realize that it was like all the pictures show you like this, and then when I went to pick it up from Killeen and paid for it, I found that it had Batman on the other side, which is really cool, and it kind of surprised me. So this piece actually comes with these two little wheelie things. I think they go into the shoulders or something. Hopefully it's the shoulders, or maybe this leg. But of course, I showed you before that I have the legs already from the Batman Beyond series, and I have the arms as well as the back. Right. So these things go at the back of it over here. So I'll be doing a live stream another time, and I'll be concentrating just on this and putting it together. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you wherever you are. Be well. And like I said, like, subscribe, please. I would really appreciate your subscription. And it just helps me out trying to get more people on board. Got to get to that 1,000, like they say, because then, it kind of builds up in the algorithm. More people get to see the video. And please share. If you enjoy these videos, especially the interview ones as well, and when we get people on here as well, as we do the interviews, please share with them and let them know what we're up to. And wherever you are, check out Critical on Kickstarter, and please back it. We would really appreciate it. I know my team would really appreciate it. Taki te ano, be well, be safe.